We are in the new garage, and we're gonna be working on some stuff that I've never done before. So it's gonna probably be a crap show. So first project in the new garage. A few things on this. The front end still all sloppy. I haven't got a lima yet, but it's got a lot of play in it, and it pulls hard to the right. So I got the center link that I never did do, and I got a pitman arm. Might try to figure out how to adjust the slop in the steering box, because I think that's actually where the slop is, and then I'll take it for an alignment. The main thing is the lifter tick chatter. It is so horrible now, it doesn't go away when it warms up. So I think we need to adjust the valves or something. So I'm gonna pull the valve covers off. I've never done that before on these. I've never worked on an overhead cam more than like replacing a timing belt and doing an oil change. We're also gonna do an oil change with some diesel in it to maybe hopefully help with that. Not some diesel oil. I apologize, some like 1540. So let's pop the hood and let's start pulling off valve covers. Oh, actually, let's do front end first. I'll do front end first because I know how to do that and it's easy. And valve cover gaskets are on their way. The wife's picking them up right now. Center link is easy. It's just this guy here. That and that on both sides. And then gotta fish it out, fish the new one in. This will be a little trickier, especially since I don't know where my puller is. I do have the puller for this. Where it is though, in my garage, that's still all piled up over there. I don't know. So actually found this right quick. Found both of them. Turns out it's the larger one, not the smaller one. Originally when I went to do this on one of my other trucks, I bought both because I wasn't sure, and then ended up not changing the pitman arm and never used these. So I literally opened them up now. You can just rent them, but I prefer to just, when I'm doing something like this, just to buy. It's nice to have these tools. Now, every time I need to do pitman arm or something, I have these. Or if a friend says, hey, can you do this? Yeah, sure, I got the tool. So, you know, it's always nice to just buy them, especially since it's auto value. I think you can rent them for free. You got to pay like a $50 deposit or whatever, and then you get that deposit back. So it is free to rent them. It's more of a borrow. Some places charge like $10, $20, but I think this was like $30 a piece. So why not just buy it, right? Well, that puller made that super easy. Now we'll compare that with the new parts. That seems to be the right one. Splines all look the same. The little lockout keys in the right spot. They're the right length, right drop and angle. Always check your parts before you just bolt them on. I've done that numerous times where I just got a part, bolted it on, and it didn't work. And then when I pulled it off, it turned out it was no good. It was actually different. So always check your parts. I'm going to do the other side of this guy. Fish that in and out now that there's lots of room. And then we'll put that on. And I don't even really need to take this out of the bag to know it's the right one. It's got the stupid tie rod mount in front of the pitman arm. This is a bad design. This is part of the slop here right from factory, because the tie rod comes and actually pushes slightly up, so it actually has flex. So when you're pushing sideways, it's actually flexing on this, no matter how new it is. So there's always slop in these. Most trucks, like my Suburban, the holes are in line, so the pitman arm mounts back here, and the tie rod's at the end of it, so they're all in line with each other. And I already realized I screwed up. I should have done this side first, because now when I push on this side, there's nothing on the other side stopping it from moving around, whereas if I did this side first, it would still be attached to the pitman arm. It's not the end of the world, but it is a hindrance, so it will make this a little harder. It will go from like a level 1 easy to a level 2 easy. Well, I had to say something. This ended up being like a level 3 or level 4. Oddly enough, this was the one that was stuck in. I had to beat the crap out of it so that it would let go. Even had to pound up on here. I don't have pickle forks. I really should. Probably would have made it a lot easier. I don't have them because I was always told they were bad and they wrecked this, but I guess in this case it doesn't matter because I'm replacing this anyways. But that's just sitting there now, and I could not get this cotter pin. Having a brain fart there. Could not get this cotter pin out, so I had to just force it to break it. Just forcing that off. So now I just gotta drill that out. I think I'm gonna take the lazy way and just drill this way, and then it'll be good for a cotter pin again. So what's my favorite and most used tool in this garage? That would be this beauty. Nice pin bar. Giant pry bar in there, spike tip that side, and still hit it with a hammer. Currently I'm using it because I'm trying to tighten down this tie rod end and it keeps spinning. So if you just put some upward pressure, now she don't spin no more, and I can tighten it down. But yeah, this is seriously the most used tool in the garage, and this is like probably my favorite tool out of everything. So now here's the other thing that I think is my play. Just a little bit, which doesn't seem like much, but once you get it down here and then into a 30-inch tall tire, it's a lot. So I think that's just some slop here that I believe, oh, I gotta get the light. I believe that nipple thing that's in the center of the screen right now is the adjustment. I'm going to double check first. I think I can get that slop out of there. So yes, that is the adjustment screw right there. As you can see, it's all soaked in WD-40. I've already adjusted it. What you got to do is that there's kind of a jam nut on. It's really hard to focus with my finger in there. The square in the center is the screw that adjusts it, and the nut on there is just a jam nut. I've already tightened it a little bit. Good video on YouTube, Bleepin' Jeepin'. He has a video on how to do this with like a Cherokee, with the same thing, just Allen key instead of a square. And he said do an 1/8 of a turn at a time. I did like 5/16 of a turn, but I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna put everything back together and go from there. So yeah, I did a little bit more, a little bit over double what he suggested at a time, but whatever. But there's a lot less slop in it. I might even do a little bit more. We'll run through this whole thing. Make sure there's no binding before it's attached to anything. Go from there. And if I wreck the steering box, I wreck the steering box. I was debating getting a new one anyways. Okay, that seems good. I'm getting distracted. I was gonna do the valve cover gaskets, but I want to do those first because I'm getting distracted here. Supposedly those don't work on the truck. I haven't tried 4-wheel drive on this. I've had it for like 3 months. I haven't tried it, but I'd rather have those anyways, whether these work or not. And I saw on a post some guy was trying to switch them, and he was trying to take some from an 88, put them on an 89. It didn't work because the spline count was wrong. This is an 89, and those are off an 88. So I hope the spline count is right. If not, this thing I think needs CV shafts anyway, so I'll just get CV shafts for an 88, not an 89, and it should have the right spline. It worked. Now I just got to find my sockets that I still haven't found, so I can tighten that all down. The wrench doesn't quite fit in there. Now, moving on to the other side, I have a bit of a problem. All of them are good and loosened, except this one. Yeah. It's all fricked. So, gotta try to get that off. Great. Vice grips for the win. Oh yeah. And found out why it didn't work. I was guessing it was this one just because it was beaten up. Yeah, that chunk fell out. That chunk fell out. And yeah, this is all open, unlike the other one. So yeah, that's probably the one that doesn't work. Started taking this apart to get to the valve covers. I hate taking the air cleaner casing off here. It's got all these vacuum lines that go to the bottom of it, and it's a pain. Definitely out of all the vehicles I've worked on, that is the worst design for that. Now I gotta try to, that light sucks. Use this one. Now I gotta get through all these cables, get to the valve cover. It's not too buried in there. Wasn't too bad to get the valve cover off. It looks gross in here. None of the rockers feel loose or anything. But, I can move them side to side, but I can't. Like, they don't feel like they got too much play. Although I haven't actually pulled anything apart yet, so I might. Oh good, I can see the cam. I'll check all the lobes on the cam, and I'll go check in the book how to adjust these, if you can even adjust them. So it turns out these aren't adjustable, which is why I could not find where to adjust them, because they're hydraulic and the hydraulic lifter takes up the slack. My three options are new lifters. Take these lifters out and clean them because they're probably just gunky. Guessing by all the gunk in there. Or just put some additives and cleaners in and hopefully it goes away. Which I'm going to do that one. First thing I'm going to do is run it for like the next week with just a little bit of ATF in my oil. Kind of clean it out. And then I plan to do an oil change anyway. So then after that week, I will pull the valve covers off, pour some diesel fuel through here and clean these off a little bit. Maybe kind of brake clean them off, whatnot. Get all this crap out of here. And then I will put the valve covers back on with the new gaskets. And then put in some valve and lifter cleaner. And put some heavier weight oil in it. And hopefully she goes away. Or even if it just calms it down a little bit, it's really loud. Not that I care about this noise, just I don't want it to cause any issues. And I know this is just a band-aid and it will probably cause issues later on. And I am fine with putting a new engine in this later on in life. Just I literally have, as you guys know if you follow, literally another one of these Pathfinders sitting there without an engine because the engine kaputzed. So I don't want to have two of those right now. If I can hobble this one along for now until I get a few other projects done, then I can put something else in here. But as of now, I need the ticking just to go away a little bit.